Presenting the Northwest Bank Wildcat News with Bolt News Director Alex Solzman. News from the Humboldt schools, presented every Wednesday at this time by Northwest Bank. Now, here's Alex.
Welcome to Wildcat News on KHBT, brought to you by Northwest Bank. We have George Bruder and Tamela Johnson in the studio this morning, and parent-teacher conferences this week. Parents are finding out about their kids' progress at school, and here to talk about that is Tamela Johnson, District Assessment Coordinator, and as I said, to elementary principal George Bruder. And Tamela, how's this week been for you so far?
Great. It's an exciting week to be a Wildcat with the big playoffs and the volleyball victory and the cross country and, of course, all the great things that we have going within the school buildings.
And tell our listeners, how do you track the progress of those students?
Yeah, it's just like in the business world, data drives all those decisions that we make. But unlike businesses, in schools, we don't use our data for financial gains or profits, but we use our data to prepare our students to someday actually make their own financial profits. And we use our data to ensure that our kids are getting the best education possible and measure our progress at making that happen. And at conferences, which are this week, we had Tuesday night and Thursday night, along with those traditional report cards. Teachers are also sharing data about how the students are doing on mastering the Iowa core, what their potential is to become independent readers, as well as that measurement of the academic growth from year to year. And along with observations of the kids and the tests, the district has a battery of district-wide tests that we analyze the health of our system, the mastery of the curriculum, and the progress of the individuals. And these assessments that we use enable our teachers to really appreciate and analyze and critique kids' unique qualities and determine some of those academic strengths and areas where the kids may need some improvement, and what are some of those academic strengths that we might be able to enhance. And so as a district, we use them to set the goals and to plan and implement and evaluate our effective curriculum, and of course to improve the school districts and make sure that we have great student achievement.
What type of assessment reports will parents receive this week?
Well, this week, starting at MEAS, there's the IGDIs, I-G-D-I, and that stands for the Individual Growth Development Indicators. And they get a little report out on how they're doing with numeracy and literacy, identifying those letters, numbers, sounds, and that type of thing. And then in our preschool, our early childhood 4 program, we also use the GOLD program, and what that entails, it's a daily observations of students, and the early childhood teachers demonstrate its role by, embedding those assessments into the day-to-day curriculum and day-to-day environment, and, as they're interacting with each other, are they able to count and recognize letters and numbers and those kinds of things. And then transitioning from our preschool, our EC5 program, we move on to our EC4 program, we move on to our EC5 program, and they're also using the IGDIs as an assessment, and then also a new assessment called FAST. And FAST is also used in our kindergarten program and our first grade program. And FAST is a replacement in K1 for our DIBELS, and that's an early literacy and numeracy assessment also. There's a new law that's in place that by the spring of 2017, third graders will have taken this FAST test for a number of years, and if they're substantially deficient, by being tested 2 test periods in a row where they're not meeting the benchmark, then there's a strong likelihood that those kids will need to be retained and have some extra summer school time. And so we're really working hard at looking at that data and thinking about that data, and then creating some implementation, some intervention implementation for those kiddos. So that's that. And then DIBELS is something that we've done for a lot of years. We're still continuing our DIBELS assessments in 2nd through 4th grade, and those are also reading and math assessments. So kind of from when they start walking in the door, up through 4th grade, those are some of our assessments we use.
And at parent-teacher conferences this week, the The 3rd through 11th grade students brought home their MAP scores, and MAP stands for Measure of Academic Progress. What are these assessments, and how are they different from the Iowa assessments?
Well, they're a lot like the Iowa assessment in a way that they show some comparisons of how their child is doing as compared to the district as well as across the nation. And our MAP tests are an online test that's given twice a year, and these assessments are the Northwest Education Association assessments, and they're designed to target a student's academic performance in math, in reading and language arts, and in science. And like I said, they're a computerized adaptive test, and the computer actually adjusts the level of difficulty of the questions so that each one of our students are taking a unique test, where the Iowa assessments, everybody takes the same test. So as they answer questions and they get answers right, things move on and they get a little more difficult, or it might make it easier based on their mistakes that they might make. And so it really does give the students a fair opportunity to show what they know and what they can do. And it measures a student's progress or growth in school. And you might have a chart in your home where you mark that child's height at certain times, such as on a birthday or something. And, that's like a growth chart. And that's what MAP gives us. It shows us how much a child has grown from one year to the next, and they do the same thing, except that they measure the student's growth in math and reading and science and language arts. And so parents received a copy of their student progress report in MAP and an explanation of what they can find on the report. And it's a little bit different measurement scale. Instead of percentile or percentage, it's called a RIT score, and it's a Roche unit, and it's an equal interval scale, much like that feet and the inches on that yardstick, and it's used to chart their children's progress, academic growth from year to year. And our RIT scores range from about 140 to 300, and students typically start about 140, 190 in 3rd grade, and then they progress to like 240 to 300 by the time they leave high school. And RIT scores really make it possible to follow a student's educational growth from year to year. And both the Iowa assessment and the MAP also provide a Lexile range that tells you kind of what books they're able to read at certain levels.
Coming up in November, we'll have the Iowa assessments, and right after this break, we'll hear from George Bruder. He's the principal at Taft and Meese, and of course, you just heard from Tamela Johnson. Tamela, thanks a lot for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Rich.
We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Wildcat News on KHBT, brought to you by Northwest Bank.
Hi, this is Julie Clendenin with Northwest Bank. Northwest Bank is proud of its partnership with the Humboldt Community Schools. Northwest Bank supports Wildcat academics and athletics and wishes the players, students, and parents continued success. Commitment you can bank on isn't just a slogan, it's the way we conduct our business to meet the needs of our customers. We offer great rates, great products, and superior service. Whether you're buying a house or shopping for a new car, come experience the difference. Northwest Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
7:25 a.m. Welcome back to Wildcat News on KHBT, brought to you by Northwest Bank. I'm joined by George Bruder, principal at Taft and Meese. And George is in his Wildcat colors today. Big game tonight, George?
Yes, big game, and football, and as you heard Tamela say, volleyball this week, too, and cross-country. So it's great to be a Wildcat. So
exactly.
Good luck to the football players tonight, as well as our volleyball players and cross-country runners on Saturday. So, but, yes, we have some other things to talk about, too, don't we?
That's right, those Iowa assessments.
Yes, and I remember a year ago saying Iowa Test of Basic Skills to you, which used to be called the Iowa Test.
When I took it, that's what it was called.
Yeah, and I saw you kind of cringe a little bit there and get a little white and
flashbacks.
I'm teasing you. You I'm sure you did really, really well on.
That's
on
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Very good. This year, it's pretty much the same setup as we've had in the past. But this year, instead of these are the 4 days or the 5 days that we're testing at each grade, at each building, it'd be 3rd and 4th graders at Taft Elementary, and then our middle school students and our high school. We have kind of a testing window. somewhere between November 5th and the 20th, and of course we're not going to use every single day at every single building and that type of thing to test, but over a period of like 5 school days, 6 school days, the test will be completed at each building. But it may be November 5th and 6th, 7th or so at one building, and it may be the following week at another. So we kind of like that format, and we can work around schedules and that type of thing too. So that'll work out well for us. And of course, the things that we usually say, plenty of rest, a good night's sleep for everyone, and good breakfast, as we always say, and also, at home, parents, talk to your children about the test coming up and the importance to do your very, very best. And those are the same things they're going to hear from the teachers too. Is give it your very, very best. And at Taft Elementary, we also provide what we call brain food or snacks, and just a little incentive and kind of keep us going and that type of thing. It's not all sugar either, so some healthy snacks, that kind of thing. So that's always fun to do. And some of the tests that we probably all remember these when we took them. We have reading, written expression, social studies, science, math, and vocabulary, spelling, capitalization. So those same ones that you heard about before, but the name has changed. It's the last couple of years it's been called Iowa Assessments. So we're proud of how hard our teachers are working, how well our students do, and the support that we get from our parents regarding the Iowa assessments, with results of 80 to 90% of our students proficient district-wide in math and science and reading. That's awesome. And again, I commend our teachers, our students, and parents for being a big, big part of that. So we celebrate too. I think it's around November 21st at Taft Elementary. We're going to have a pancake luncheon for everyone. First and second graders get to be part of that too, and that's always a favorite meal to look forward to at lunchtime. The Lions Club comes in and provides pancakes and sausage and fruit and milk for the boys and girls. So it's after all the testing's done, we celebrate too.
And let's now preview those assessments at the middle school level. What will they be doing? Yeah,
very much the same format. And during conferences this week, as you heard Tamela say, last night they started. The parent-teacher conferences did, and then it'll continue Thursday night. They're setting goals for the Iowa assessments, the students with their parents, because what we're looking for is a year's growth. That's what we'd like to see. And, third graders, we can't say that because it's the first time they've taken the assessment. But as far as 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, they can set goals and put a target out there and aim for it. So that's the kinds of things they're going to be doing at conferences. The students' results, the data, is analyzed by our teachers and helps to make good decisions about teaching strategies and approaches to take and curriculum to be addressed. So they're not just something we take and the kids are saying we have to take it, that kind of thing. So we actually use the data and make good decisions from the results. High school, earlier I was talking about students being at that 80th and 90th percent proficient, and that's very, very important, not only in elementary and middle school, but high school too, reading, math, and science. When students go on to college, those courses are very, very important. Those scores are very, very important. And believe me, I have a senior this year, and I have a daughter in college, and it's important how well they do on these assessments and in school from day to day. So, also at the high school, scores are used to determine students who need extra help to be successful in their courses. Test results given to students, it's an indicator of how they may do on ACT school assessments. High school uses results to analyze curriculum alignment, the Iowa core, the core, as same as we've heard. You heard me earlier say about the middle school. And the state uses scores to determine how well we're doing. And every once in a while you'll see them pop up in the Des Moines Register. And we all like to look to see where's Humboldt at and that type of thing. So again, as I said, we're proud of our results. We know how hard everyone works. And I don't think it'll be any different this coming November when we test again.
What's your final advice to parents and students? What should they be taking away from this conversation?
You heard me say earlier, good night's rest, good night's, good sleep, eating a good breakfast, give your best effort. Really, those are things every single school day. But, we really emphasize them at this time of the year when we go into that testing period.
That was George Bruder, principal at Taft and Meese. George, thanks for coming in, and I'll see you at the football game tonight.
All right, very good. Thanks, Alex.
That was Wildcat News on KHBT, brought to you by Northwest Bank.
This has been the Northwest Bank Wildcat News Program, presented every Wednesday at this time by Northwest Bank.